College professors, what's the most creative method you've seen someone use to pass without effort? I had this student, Jake, in my advanced statistics course. He was the kind of kid you'd barely notice unless you were paying attention. Quiet, hoodie always up, slouched in the back row. He rarely took notes, never raised his hand, and seemed glued to his phone during lectures. His homework was late more often than not, and when it was on time, it looked rushed. Half effort, missing steps, sometimes incorrect. Average student at best. That's why it didn't make sense when he started acing his quizzes. He wasn't just passing, he was getting perfect scores. Not a single wrong answer. No eraser marks, just straight through flawless work. But he still looked as disinterested as ever, never asked questions, and certainly didn't seem like the type to spend his nights reviewing z-scores and chi-square tests. At first, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was one of those quiet geniuses who didn't need to study like everyone else, but something about it felt off. Then came the midterm. It was a comprehensive multi-section exam. I'd created 3 versions to minimize cheating. Students were spread out. I patrolled the room casually, just doing my usual laps. Jake was sitting near the back again, hunched over his desk, looking relaxed. But every few minutes, I noticed him tapping his smartwatch. Not excessively, just quick glances, subtle movements. At first, I thought he was just checking the time or a notification, but then I caught it. As I walked past, I glanced at his wrist. His watch was showing scrolling text, small, tight lines of what looked like class notes, and not just generic summaries. These were specific formulas and definitions, moving in sequence, a perfect crib sheet, digital, discrete, and timed to the pace of the exam. I slowed my walk and came back around a minute later. The screen now showed a digital clock face. Later, I found out Jake had created a custom app. It ran on a timed loop, delivering sectioned notes that matched the structure of the exam. Even more impressively, he had programmed the watch's proximity sensor to detect when someone approached. If movement was detected within a few feet, the display auto-switched to a clock. No fumbling, no tapping, completely automatic. After the exam, I asked Jake to stay behind. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse him. I just said, "Let's talk about the app." He froze. Then he sighed and said, "I'll take the F," but I didn't give him one. Instead, I made him a proposal. I told him about a research project I was buried in, one involving massive data sets, complex modeling, and hours of tedious manual data cleanup. I said he had 2 options: take the F and face the university's disciplinary process, or apply his programming skills to help me finish my work. He chose the second. 2 weeks later, he walked into my office with a working prototype of a data cleaning tool that I'd spent months trying to piece together. It not only handled the cleanup, but also optimized variables, flagged outliers, and generated reports that were actually readable. It was elegant, efficient, and saved me hundreds of hours. By the end of the semester, we had co-authored a paper together. It was published the following spring in a well-respected journal. His name appeared next to mine on the masthead. Jake never cheated again. He didn't need to. He went on to double major in statistics and computer science. Graduated with honors. Last I heard, he's working at a major tech company, helping develop algorithms for predictive modeling at a scale I can barely comprehend.